One. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Dragon 5 month with a review of both the little short at the beginning of it and Monsters University.
MU.
Yeah, MU. So I've literally just walked out of the cinema, come home, and gotten here. So these opinions of mine may change, they may not. So just letting you guys know in advance that these are pretty raw opinions. So just roll with that, because I've only seen a movie once, and I might change my mind. I'm not necessarily, and I haven't had a lot of time to digest the movie. So these opinions might change. So. Just quickly overall, Blue Dragon 5. What did you think of Monsters University? I understand you've seen it. Have you seen it more than once?
I have.
Okay, so what's your overall opinion of it?
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think it's really good.
Same here, pretty much. Pretty much the same. I've got some opinions about it, but I like what they've done with it. I like the story overall.
I didn't have low expectations, but I just had standard expectations, and I think it met those and more. I think it exceeded my expectations in a really great way. I was expecting it to be a good film, but this one turned out to be a great film, I think.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be Pixar's one of their first, like, not really good movies. Like, I know a lot of people think that that's Cars 2, but I still like Cars 2. So
Cars 2 is their first okay film.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be sort of the same way, but as I said, I did really like it. So yeah.
It was a big risk, though. Huge risk on Pixar's part doing this, because we know how infamous prequels can be.
Yes. Yes, we do know.
There are very few good prequels. Like, Red Dragon is, like, instantly off the top of my head a good prequel I can think of. Yeah. That and technically Temple of Doom counts as a prequel, so, I mean, take that for what you will.
Okay. Alright. I haven't seen Temple of Doom yet. I've got it, so I'll have to check it out sooner or later.
So should we
anyway,
cover the Blue Umbrella short?
Yeah. So spoilers going ahead, guys. So just so you know, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go out and see it. In Australia, it's holidays at the moment, so there's really not a lot of excuses at it. So just find the time and go see the movie and just see and come back.
It's worth it. You guys want to see this in theaters. It's deserving of it. Also, I say, well, I'll get to my final recommendation, I guess, after we go through it. But right now I'm saying go see it.
Yeah. So
let me... I'm so sorry to cut you off, Magpie. I just wanted to say something real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I think I should explain why Pixar does these shorts at the beginning of the films.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You see, the reason for the short there are a few reasons. The main one is to test the animation, because Pixar, for this film, they acquired a new software. It's called Global Illumination. Basically, it's new and refined lighting techniques. So basically, there's always a render that goes over the animation, gives it all the textures and kind of how it reacts well to the simulator. So basically, it looks realistic. And so basically, the shorts test the new animation. It's also just the test the animation, also just simple storytelling without dialogue, usually. So that's kind of the purpose of the short. And the first Pixar short was Andre and Wally B, and that was just kind of show they knew how to work the technology and kind of show you like the many possibilities of computer animation, which would bring us to Luxo Jr. and from then on Tin Toy, which brought us Toy Story. That's all I'm gonna say. I could go on for hours about the shorts, but
yeah.
But that's in a nutshell. That's the reasons for the shorts. Also, just nice little shorts and stories to tell before the film to ease you in there to seeing it. And Disney's kind of, I would say Disney's kind of copied that from Pixar now. They kind of make their own original shorts that test the animations and kind of just put it out there in front of the film. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed this short, by the way. So yeah, the blue umbrella. I was curious. I was like, I got the Disney logo, and I thought, oh, okay, we're gonna go straight into the movie now. I forgot about the little shorts at the beginning.
There's always a
But
short in front of a Pixar film.
yeah, I just like this. I like that it's a very simple story. Blue umbrella. He's got all these obstacles to come over and looking for the cute red umbrella. And I remember thinking during it, oh, I hope that the two people underneath the umbrellas they also get together, because that would be really sweet. And sorry to spoil the ending, but yeah, they do. So that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. So
It's really cute, this short.
mm,
In the best
yeah,
possible way.
yeah.
It's like romance without the oversaturation of it all.
Yeah, and it's nice and quick. Yeah, you get the obstacle, and he eventually overcomes the obstacle, and yeah, and
I want
then
to.
they
I don't want to come off too heavy-handed, but I would say it's kind of love visually.
yeah, yeah, it's a very visual, and I like the music in the background, and the overall animation, and like how all the devices on the street sort of turn into faces. I love that. It was like and the other device and all the other things try and help the blue umbrella out. It's really cool. I love that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, we want to help our buddy out, sort of thing. It's really cool.
Ever since Tin Toy, they've been bringing inanimate up. Oh, actually, sorry. Let me strike that. Since Luxo Jr., they've been bringing inanimate objects to life, and this is kind of the first time they brought the city to life. And you're just looking around. They basically photograph the location. They see the faces that are built into it. They do the same thing with cars. They would go around looking at cars, seeing the personality and the faces that are in the hoods of the car.
Cool.
And it's kind of applied to this. And my God, it floored me. The mark of this just being so good, some people think it was actually live action mixed in with animation. But it was all computer animation.
Mm.
I'm saying that for the record. It was all computer animation. Again, that global illumination software, it improved. It put the render at its pinnacle right now. Like, there is no better rendering at this point. It's the most realistic they've ever gotten. And even with Nemo, they were at a realistic peak. They just decided to go a little more anime with Nemo. They could have replicated, but now we see what they did completely going for realism. That city looks fantastic. Just the minor moldings of the faces. And again, the rain effects, everything worked perfectly. And really, I think they're only literally maybe one render frame away from actually being live action with the coats, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like literally it's that good. And again, the story's great. A little cute blue umbrella. He sees a little red cute umbrella.
Mm. And he's instantly attracted there, and he wants to get to know that red umbrella a little bit better.
And really, it's impressive. It has the tension of the situation built upon the music. It's really just kind of a mundane thing. Like the umbrella's going to be put down. Well, not put down. I just mean flapped underneath. However, the thing goes down, so it can be like a cane or something. But it's like that. But then the music's building, and this the wind's picking up, and he wants to see that umbrella, but they're going opposite ways. Can't be helped. So what happens to umbrellas when the wind picks up? They blow away.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing if you don't hit that mark. And oh man, you're feeling for this guy. At one point, there's almost this Red's Dream. You ever see the short Red's Dream, Magpie? Red's Dream?
No, I haven't.
It's one of the early days of Pixar, like back in the 80s when they were still doing early computer animation. It's essentially it was going for a downer ending, and for a second I thought, oh man, wonder if they're going for the downer ending we had in Red's Dream. It was rainy there too, and it was an animate object brought to life, and thankfully there was a happy ending. I'm glad for that.
Oh yeah.
It's simple, to the point, and it's great. We need the simpler things, just to kind of in this modern day and age. We need the simpler, happier things, but done really well. If that makes any remote sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well animated, and this animation
Mm.
reflects in Monsters University.
Yeah.
How
So,
well done it is.
do you want to move on to Monsters U now?
Unless you have anything else to add.
No, I don't. I love that short at the beginning. I definitely would give that short at the beginning is beautiful. I really liked it. It's better than the one I saw at the beginning of Oz and Great and Powerful. I really enjoyed.
What
But
short was in front of Oz the Great and Powerful? Can you remind me? I saw it, but I can't remember.
I can't remember, to be honest. I can't remember. It was a really good one though. But I really liked this one a lot better.
Okay.
Sorry. You're asking me to remember 5 months back.
So I can't remember if there was a short in front of Oz the Great and Powerful, but yeah, it's been a while for me too. I've only seen it in theaters. I haven't gotten it on DVD or anything.
Yeah, it's coming out soon, so
it's already out actually. Well, I mean, I don't know about Australia, so that's just me.
I think it's due out or it's about to come out here. So I'll check it out, and we may do a commentary on that sometime soon.
If I get my hands on it, definitely.
Okay. Anyway, Monsters U. I really enjoyed the beginning of this. I liked the whole journey to the university type thing, and Billy Crystal sort of came back, and it was definitely the character. Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Mike Wazowski. Yeah.
Mike Wazowski, and he is cute as a first grader.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, what this film did was really interesting in that they reversed the roles of see, Sully was our protagonist in the first one. True, they both are kind of the main characters of that film. But I mean, Sully's our main guy. He goes through the character arc. He meets Boo. He kind of questions the whole system. Mike's there for the ride, comic relief. We still like the guy. But here, they reverse the roles, so it's kind of, well, that's it. Just to reverse the role. So Mike's our main guy here, and he has this big character because from the outset, Dan Scanlon, the director of this film, who was a story guy with Pixar, and I believe story guy on the original Monsters, Inc. as well. Dan Scanlon, he had a really interesting idea of this. He went into this film because we all know what happens to Mike. He becomes Sully's assistant, and that's an interesting point because Dan Scanlon, he's mentioned this, and I'm going to say this briefly. I've seen one review of this that was really, really dumbfounding to me in that, I mean, some people disagree with this. Very few disagree with the main theme of this film. Basically, it was on That Guy with the Glasses, one of the midnight screening videos. That basically their argument was that I'll get more into it later. I'm getting to the main point now. Basically, Mike's being set up for failure this entire film. We know what happens to him. He doesn't become a scarer. He has every aspiration of wanting to be a scarer. He knows all the stuff. You know, it's his dream to be a scarer. Okay, and we know he doesn't get there. He gets to being assistant. Now, I have to wonder, with that premise in mind, how does this guy, what we're rooting for the entire way, this nice guy, good protagonist, so we know he doesn't get what he wants, so I guess we're going to feel a little bad for him, but still want to know what happens. Like, what changed in his life to make him not become a scarer? So that's an interesting place to go in for a prequel, and they didn't do a sequel because Pete Docter always stood by the fact that they had a perfect ending with Monsters, Inc., and that you didn't see Boo, and there were focus groups and everything that wanted to see the girl. But Pete Docter, being the smart director he was, said, no, keep him wanting more. And he always feared going to a sequel and showing Boo would kind of detract from that. You don't want to see Boo again, but then I've heard some people say, well, what if they set in years later and she's older or something? And, well, maybe, and there have been comics put out of Boo coming back and just seeing, the laughing, it's powered by laughter now, and just Boo comes in to visit Sully now and again, but I think it was an interesting move to go prequel, because, again, as I said, very risky, very few success. This was Pixar's first prequel. It was, and if this film flopped, there would be no more prequels, and it's kind of a worry, I guess. I was a little worried in that it was such a big gamble because the sequels and with Cars 2 not doing as well as not doing that well. You know, just because they're going to a prequel and it's kind of prequel after original film Brave, and then we get a sequel, then Brave, now a prequel. I have to wonder where they're going. They have to have a good story. That's what they always said from the outset. We won't do a sequel unless we have a good story. And they have a good story for a prequel, so I gave it a shot, and I was very impressed by it. I'm sorry, Magpie. Keep going. We see young Mike.
Yeah, and he goes in and he goes going on a school excursion to
Monsters
Inc. Yeah, and we see that familiar We Scare Because We Care sign out the front, and we go in there and we see Mike go in. He get constant. He's like very little compared to everyone else, and
not scary.
He's not scary. So he's like, oh, what are we gonna? How are we gonna? We got to get. We're instantly behind him. I'm instantly behind him all the way through. You know, because I'm like, I forgot that he was just the assistant at the beginning. I thought that him and Mike sort of traded places.
Well, I mean,
throughout.
He at the end he became, because he was the funnier guy. When they switched from screams to laughter, then he became the scarer, and Sully became the assistant. But other than that, no, it's just Mike, as we see in this film, which I love it. But I think I'm jumping ahead here. We see why Mike's in the position he is. You have the assistant crafts the scare. The assistant, he kind of picks the right kid. He knows who your gut. You know who your partner is, and you know how to play to his strengths, and that's you see how that plays into Mike's character in this film.
Yeah, so it's kind of But anyway, I really liked the beginning of this, and like I was instantly behind him. I so wanted Mike to
succeed.
Succeed, yeah. I like I said, because I'd forgotten exactly what his role was in the.
Again, set up for failure, so you have to wonder at this point what's going to happen.
Yeah, so, and he the guy, one of the scarers, he
Frank
manages
McKay, frightening Frank McKay, voiced by John Krasinski.
Yeah, so, he sort of sneaks in and everything, and it's sort of inspired, and then eventually he's like, I didn't even realize you were in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, I didn't realize you were in there. It's like,
and gives him the hat.
Yeah, and we sort of follow the journey of that hat all the way through, sort of thing. And he wants to go to Monsters. He always wants to be a scarer. And like, I gather in that world, in the monster world, that's like the big, like everyone wants to be a scarer, but not everyone can be a scarer.
Well, but the main all the occupations in the monster world, or Monstropolis as it's called, it's in service of scaring, because scaring is the main industry job, and that, you scare, you provide energy for the whole place. It's probably the most important job there, and all the other jobs really are in service of that. Like, really, food service, basically, you have Tony from the Monsters Inc., where he's like throwing him the fruit on the way to work. It's really in service of that job, I guess accountants, and we have a salesman in this film. This is the first non-monster scaring occupation we have in this film with Don.
Yeah.
Don's a salesman. He sells. I don't know if he sells. What does he sell? Does he sell condos or scream units?
I don't know.
I forgot what he sells.
But yeah.
Anyway, so it's all in service of this big job, and I love just the reveal, the big musical play on by Randy Newman of Monsters, the reveal Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah.
Just seeing the building, because we know what happens in this building, and there's a really nice musical. Sorry, Aaron Dicer in his review said that he. Forgive me if we're just name dropping here. It happens.
Yeah.
But we quote because we love. And we scare because we care. But anyway, Aaron Dicer, he said, and I I pointed this out to him, and he realized it upon another watch of it too. The music cues from the original are in here, but Randy Newman did something really brilliant in that you hear the music cues from the first film minus the big jazzy overtone. Unfortunately, I had to lose that for the college music, which is a good theme in itself. Just it's not the original, but all the music inside or like around the premises of Monsters Incorporated. That's the music from the original film, which I thought was such a great touch. It's like when they're being chased and you hear the music, like the In Trouble music, I kind of deem it, dun 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 dun, something like that. Or when you see the scares walking down the scare floor, it's the same music cue. Really, it's a really nice subtle touch, I think, and there are a lot of great. I think this is probably, out of all the Pixar films, I think this is the most. I had a term for this. I'm trying to think what it was. Some of the most well-crafted shots. Well, staged or crafted shots in Pixar films. I love composition. That's the word, composition. Some of the a lot of great composition to all the scenes here, like visual look to these scenes because they do repeat, and like just Mike standing in front of the door, and I love it when it goes all red later on. He's like standing in front of the door. It's just great. It's kind of harkening back to the first film in which we saw Sully standing in front of the door when he goes in there for Boo.
Yeah.
Great visual stuff, and of course I like how we're put uneasy when we're in the human world early on in the film, because when Mike sneaks into the room and frightening Frank McKay, he's about to scare the kid. But then something we've never seen in the original Monsters, Inc., mainly because they couldn't do humans at that point too well. Well, I mean, well enough. I mean, they weren't special. They tried to focus on the monsters. The door opens. We've never seen that. That's the most dangerous situation, because we've never tackled adults in Monsters, Inc., and it's something we tackled here. That was like something that just dawned on me, like, oh my god, we've never seen the adult humans in the monster world. This is our first glimpse at them. Makes sense. They're gonna say they're scared of monsters. They're gonna tell the parents. Parents are gonna look in there, and just Mike seeing the scare. That's what in him makes him decide he wants to become a scarer. You know, Great stuff.
Because
that inciting incident inspires him for the rest of his life. And then the hat is a visual representation of that goal from a real scare from this influential field trip. Sorry if I'm taking the words out of your mouth, Magpie.
Yeah. This is the we know when we see that hat that was the goal for his whole life. He wanted to be a scarer. And so moving on, we'll talk about we'll focus here on the point to. I like to focus on areas of the movie specifically, and then we'll do another overall thing at the end when we do our ratings. From the point Mike arrives to, what do you say, we go all the way to where he gets...
you want to go to...
Where he gets in trouble. From where he goes in there until where he gets in trouble and gets kicked out of Scare.
Well, I think we have to cover him meeting Sully.
Yeah. I'm just going from there. We'll talk. This part of the video is like going to be from where he comes in to where he gets expelled, and so that covers that. We'll talk about that too. So he goes in and he's instantly in love with the place, and he does all the things like registers and blah blah blah. Goes into his first class, and of course he meets what's the name of the guy that he meets first, actually?
I mean Randall Boggs, played by Steve Buscemi, who was in the first one.
Yeah, so we know where that relationship is going. We know these guys aren't going to be friends.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting. I thought they were going to go, and they kind of did. I get that Steve Buscemi.
They played on expectations. They say, I'm going to be friends with this guy. This guy's going to be my best friend for life. He opens the door, and we hear Randall's music cue, another great music cue. We just hear Randall's music cue, but then you see he's not threatening at all. He's wearing glasses, and he's saying, oh, hi, Mike.
Yeah. And he's sort of worried about disappearing, but that's essentially what makes him scary.
Yeah.
But the thing about this, I gather what I want to say. We don't see much of Steve Buscemi, but that's probably. I'm just saying that these because he does Boardwalk Empire, so he's probably busy with that. So that's probably why he's not in this movie as much as I would have liked him to be in it. But I think he's in it enough. I actually think he's in it enough, and we kind of like it's very bare bones of why he ends up hating
Mike and Sully.
Yeah, Mike and Sully. Sorry. Oh, my memory is shocking.
Particularly
right
Sully, because he has a rivalry with Sully.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna say they cut out for. I think they cut out for story reasons, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Fair enough. It's a good point.
I could have used a little bit more with him.
As could I, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this film. They had a
Yeah, and that wasn't really the focus of the story. So that it was all right. It's a minor nitpick. But yeah, so we go to his first class, and of course we don't see Sully. I was like, "Where's Sully? He should be in the class." And Mike's he's up. He's got all the knowledge, and he's like probably he's going to pass all the tests. No worries.
That's Alfred Molina as the teacher, by the way, Professor Knight, the dinosaur-looking guy.
Yeah, and he keeps hitting it.
And also, sorry, I just got to mention this because it caused me some strain. For everyone looking as well as I have, the A113's on the classroom on the outside. Okay, so look for it there. And the Pizza Planet truck's in front of the frat house.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's just that bothered me. I couldn't find it the first time. They hit it well. I knew it was going to be a college classroom because that's what the A113 came from in the first place.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I forget what they are. So yeah, you'll have to remind me. I know what the Pizza Planet truck is. So, what's the A113 from?
Yeah, A113 was the college classroom of Cal Arts. That's where all the big Pixar directors and brain trust guys met.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. Thanks for that little bit of knowledge. But yeah, of course Sully comes in and he's like
with a roar.
Yeah, and he's sort of like he's like, I've got this.
He's a legacy kid.
Yeah, he's a legacy, and he figures he's going to coast on that. And
did you expect to see his family in this movie?
No, not really.
I expected to see at least a picture of his dad somewhere.
That was what I was going to say. Maybe a picture or something. But they had all those statues around. I figured he was going to be his dad or something. His mom even would be really cool to see one of them.
I was expecting either that or a picture of let's just say our bad guy from the first movie, other than Randall on the wall, when Mike's going down there looking at the trophies. I expected there, but maybe he was a member of that fraternity. Who knows?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so what happens, I know that it's sort of that...
You mean when they shake hands? You want to get to that point? Like they actually meet each other with the pig, remember?
Oh, yeah, they meet each other with that pig, and they got to chase the pig around. They do that. It's really cool looking that they got to do that. Let the old kidnap the opposing team's mascot thing, yeah.
Archie the scare pig.
Yeah. Cool. Then it's not too long after that the rivalry starts, isn't it? So.
The robbery?
Rivalry.
Oh, sorry, you said robbery for a second there. I was thinking, it's not that much of a felony.
Yeah.
But
and of course, Sully gets invited into Raw.
He does.
R-O. Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Let me pose this to you, Magpie. Now, when Sully. In that moment, when Roar takes Sully, even though Mike really captured the pig, Sully gets inducted, and he's like saying, "What are you saying? I'm not." Basically, they say he's not scary, and Sully, again, he doesn't really know the guy. He just met the guy, and he's saying, "Well, he's not really my friend." But he says, "Well, you're not scary." He's not being mean about it. He's being honest, but he's not really thinking it through. But then, Mike just kind of I'm here for a reason. Don't tell me I'm not here. I'm here for the wrong reasons or something along those lines. I'm going to scare circles around you. I have as much a chance as you do. Again, it's kind of that another kind of theme in the movie is it's kind of you're born into this and you're trying to earn your way to it. You earn your way to the goal or being born into the goal.
Yeah.
Legacy versus hard work.
Yes. So it's yeah, and like I think it's really good. It shows you that legacy will get you only so far. But study will get you pretty far, but it might not get you all the way. Yeah. Seems to be the message of this film. Like you can do one or the other, but it's never going to get you to the ultimate goal. You have to. Sometimes, if you're born into it, you're gonna succeed. But you got to do that hard work as well. So that seems to be the entire message of the thing. Plus
but also the methodology between the two is that Sully's more of the experience type, and Mike's more of the book work, and you need a little blend of both also.
Yeah.
Should we? I'm sorry, Magpie. I didn't mean to cut you off. You were saying?
Yeah, like you need both in order to succeed. You need hard work, but as well because you get the and plus I figured this out really early on. It's a little while later after the rivalry sort of gets into its full to its ultimate point where they stuff up, but
yeah,
they're two halves of the and I was going somewhere with that, but they're like
two halves at the same point.
Yeah, two halves. Like Sully's got all the scaring and the ability, but he hasn't got the knowledge. Mike's got the knowledge as well. But
they fill the void in each other.
Yeah, together they would make a deadly duo, and it takes a while to get to that point. But
to each other, they're the X factor they need to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, like, but and we go on from that. Is there any parts that happen between after they capture the pig, the rivalry starts? But there's any?
Yes,
is there anything else? Anything I'm missing?
There's a montage, and basically it's them studying for until we get to the big final exam, which is scare the kid in front of the auditorium. It is a big fun. Then we get introduced. Well, for the second time, we have to talk about one of the best characters in this movie.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm bringing it up. Oh,
let's talk about. Can I say
Jean Hardscrabble? Yeah, Hardscrabble, played by the great Helen Mirren.
Oh yes, she's a good character. She's not a villain, but she's not a good guy. Well, she's not exactly a good guy, but she's not exactly a bad guy. She's just there.
Yeah, she's the antagonist, but
not evil.
Yeah, not 100%. So I thought there was going to be another conspiracy behind this because that was like that was like the story in the first one, but it was like a good thing. Like it worked there, so I was glad that they didn't retread over this. But she was sort of like when that thing gets knocked down, you're like you understand what a big deal it is. Why? Because they explain that when she's first introduced that. This thing. And this is the thing about these expensive, like really big things. Why isn't it in a glass case if it's so important?
Yeah.
Why isn't it sealed up behind a bulletproof glass or something?
You're right.
If it's that important, why is it on this I'll put it on this
pedestal
thing that will slightest bump will knock it over.
Yeah, it's on like a little pedestal thing. It should, logically, it should be in a trophy case, but it's like the decor of the room, I guess. It's kind of, on pedestals, kind of say, well, there's always room for another pedestal in this room, apparently. And, put it next to the bust, and I guess the bust wouldn't fit in the glass case. It's a design thing, but it's also for the story.
Yeah.
Her first screencaster It's a good trophy image, I gotta say. I love how it's like in front of the. I love how the look of it though. It's like the Scream canister in front of the bust of the monster who filled it.
Mm. I love that, but I'm just so like, I see that bit, I'm like, God, well, if it was so important.
Yep.
I know.
She keeps dusting it and like, rubbing her fingers across it, just kind of say, yeah, this is important. This is mine. Just I'm perfectionist about it.
Yeah, I love, and she clearly has the clout to back up her ability. She when she came in, I was like, oh, she's kind of scary.
Yeah, she does. Here's the thing. It's just so great about her character. She doesn't really do anything scary. She just has the calm composure that is scary. She's like so much of a master of scariness that she's just calm. It's like the understated scariness that she can just exude from herself, just going about her deanly duties. Also, a little animation. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make a point. To me, what is scarier is not the guy that goes, ah, it's the person that says, this is how it's gonna go down, sort of thing. I'm completely calm, but you look at me and you know I'm gonna just kill you, sort of thing.
I like how Mike kind of uses that to his advantage later on, in that he uses Mike's kind of his learning style that he's imparting on his team and everyone. Is that it's kind of this, it's more kind of, if I can describe it right, the scary movie, old-style horror style. It's like the little things that scares you. It sets up the scare. And it's more, that's what really wins his team over in the end. It's like not just being scary. It's more like the lead-up to the scare. It's like the jump scare, that sort of stuff. And just kind of it's like building to the scare. It's kind of what she's doing, building to the scare. And a little animation information for you here. Like a little... I want to say Easter. I don't know, something. I was going to say tidbit or something. Tidbit, that works. In A Bug's Life, there were these little... Dean Hartscrabble, she has these centipede legs that look really cool. Yeah. In A Bug's Life, they were so hard to animate. That's way back when. They were so hard to animate. That's why the millipedes, not centipedes, the millipedes only appeared like twice in the film. They kept cutting away from it because it was hard to animate all the legs moving. We see how far they've come. I like how her wings turn into her sweater.
Yeah.
Again, Helen Mirren brings a great ambiance to this character, and the design's great. Understated. She doesn't have to scare, and she scares you perfectly. And one brief thing, because we kind of didn't get her opening statement. When she appeared earlier, like in the orientation when right before Sully burst into the room. Yeah. Which I think is a smart move, because really the main focus is between her and Mike. It's not exactly her and Sully, because she says at the beginning, and she's trying to be encouraging, and she's saying technically like the mission statement, but she's kind of being she's still kind of not exactly being warming up to the students. She's a little stuffy. She says, if you're here and you're good at scaring, you'll remain here. But if you're not scary, and she looks at Mike, and we just pan on Mike, because that's the big struggle of the movie. He's not scary, yet he's in the program. And we're rooting for him. But the fact of the matter is, he's not scary. She's not being mean about it. She's being honest about it. If you're not scary, why are you in a scare program? I'm saying, if you're not scary, you're not going to belong here.
Fair enough.
I'm saying I'm generally speaking, I suppose, but that's the main point of contention between our protagonist and our technical antagonist. And I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. Let's get to the big event. So Sully and Mike are kind of having while the other scares are going on, being for the final grade, they're kind of having a little rivalry between the two of them, and they're kind of like having a very funny. It's like it's a quiet scare off. They're scaring each, trying to like outscare the other guy, just to annoy each other, but real quietly, which I think is funny. But it's not that they're getting attention, but even though Hardscrabble can see them, but it's because they're getting close to her trophy, who's perched on this pedestal. They knock it over, and you think, okay, oh god, and just like the room stops, like a pin. You could hear a pin drop after this screen canister drops. And you think, okay, just pick it up, put it on the pedestal, it's gonna be fine. But then, well, the scream canisters are called scream canisters for a reason. It breaks. And it's going all over the room, like all the scream in the can. It's been building up for years. I don't know if like builds more as the years go by or not, but it's going around the room. It's pinballing around the room, and with the scream, it's like pure scream energy being let out. The lights are going on and off like crazy, but then the thing that just brings it home is like the thing just you think, okay, just put it back in the pedestal. It's colored in red later. Springs pop out, the thing's destroyed, and then Hard Scrabble comes out of the shadows after like flying down after this big thud. It's right in between Mike and Sully. This like horrible event, like right in between the two because it's their fault, and it's like, boom, and she grabs it. I love the way she holds it too. It's like by the top of the destroyed springy object that was her apple of her eye. She's crawling with the centipede legs and just all calm about it. And Mike has the line that sells it. She says, well, things can be replaced. No one was hurt. That's what's important. You're taking this remarkably well. But then...
she's still calm. And,
It's terrifying, really.
Yeah.
So then... what she does is she basically gives them their examinations on the floor. She says, I'll proctor your final exam. He says, I'm this many years old girl, and give me the appropriate scare that goes along with this. And he says, shouldn't I be up there now, please? I think she's a little unfair to Mike. Now he doesn't even get the scream out, the scare out.
Yeah.
I mean
Thank
that one.
you.
Sorry, go ahead.
But he's got the know-how. He just doesn't have the.
I mean, like
ability to. Oh.
It's like American Idol, style though. She like stopped him before he got like the first part out.
Yeah.
He gets like a little bit, but like he gets into position and she stops him. I think that's a little unfair. At least let him do the scare. But I don't know. Maybe it's kind of her instantly saying you're not scary. But then I love what she does with Sully though. You want to say that one?
Well, where he does the rah and he's like,
before she finishes, I wasn't finished
yet, and he just realizes that there's and this is why that wouldn't work, which is really that one I agree with is because
oh definitely.
Hey,
what that scene does so well is that again she's being intimidating as all heck, I'll admit that, but she isn't being evil. She's pointing out the main flaws in our two central characters here. And it's really well done, I gotta say. It's yes, Sully, you have to listen these things through. You need to plan these scares, otherwise just going in with one scare, it's not going to work every time. The kid cries and you're going to be found out, which does come into play later. Just kind of being in a dangerous situation with the humans. Which I know we said spoilers early on. It's fine.
Yeah.
So again, it's great setup for later. I think because this third act comes out of nowhere. But getting to the so basically they're both the idea is if you fail the final, you're out of the scare program.
Yeah, and they both get kicked out, and then they go into
another department of the university. It's the
where they design
construction. Or design.
Yeah, and they.
The guy looks like a Muppet, doesn't he?
There he goes. I was waiting for him to say Bueller. Bueller.
Yeah, it was just. And Sully cracks me up about this scene. I'm sure it cracked up a lot of others, even though it's a serious moment. Sully is like, he has eyes on Mike, and he's just, you got me kicked out of the scare program, you. Family's gonna be ticked off, and you just ruined my whole life. Basically, is like breaking the canister, and it's just like he's walking, and this is the shot that cracks me up. Just as they're walking, Mike's just staring straight ahead because he knows he's right behind him. Just Sully's like glaring at him while he's walking, and he keeps doing that periodically. It was just really cracks me up. But then a nice, again, great shot composition. That's the word. Great shot composition here with Mike's hat, which represents his goal of wanting to be at Monsters University. Like, is on the table, and it's like right outside the building he wants to be in, the classroom. Yeah. And then he just like throws something at the calendar, which goes down. But then the Fear Games little handout he picked out.
Yeah, and that's where the movie really starts, because he realizes, oh, I can get in this way.
And Sully's Sully's like waiting outside the door, and he's still staring at the door, like prepared, just whenever he comes out of the door, he's just gonna see him staring at him. Anyway,
that's great.
And he runs out. He's like, what's this guy up to? I gotta get in on this. He must have a plan. I think Sully overall in this film, with the thing with Mike, some people say Sully doesn't have enough to do, but again, that's because he's not in the limelight for this film, but he's still in there. I think John Goodman's performance of Sully, and just Sully the character, is a lot of great understated nuances to it. In that it's like, John Goodman, forgive me if I'm trailing off just briefly about the Sully character here.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, some people would say, that, okay, it's John Goodman, he's getting old, so that's why Sully doesn't sound the way he does in the first one. I think it's intentional in that he's bringing more of this rashness to Sully. In that he's younger with kind of some little bit of vocal cracks in the voice. It's more like I'm full of myself. I'm going ahead. I don't know. I see it more of it as it's intentional as like a voice quality thing. If that makes any sense, it really Sully's understated. But even more, it sells it even more in the voice acting. Is the animation on Sully's face has improved so much more than Monsters Inc. It was great there, but here it's refined to the pinnacle of perfection. I mean, you can see him emote, and I can see the gears in Sully's head turning, and I can see like earlier on with like he gets in with the Roar guys, as we said earlier, with the whole pig scenario.
Yeah.
He gets in with the Fear guys. I love the performance on the face here. I would say John Goodman instantly, but I'm just saying the animation on the face is him. We see Sully, he's worried because I can't pass this scare exam. I don't know all the stuff Mike does. I only know one scare, and he's kind of worried because they don't give him the jacket back. He says, "Okay, you prove you're merit." Voiced by Nathan Fillion, by the way, our head monster, Johnny Worthington.
Yeah, people from Firefly probably already know who he is.
Yeah, Roy Omega, also Green Lantern animation a few times. But anyway, so basically it's kind of, you see the worry on Sully's face, and we get that periodically throughout the film. We see the gears turning. It's great stuff, and I mentioned the whole angry face, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just, the understatedness of Sully in this film is just more, we see, later on we get, when his scene with Mike later on in the third act, we have him basically air out what's bothering Sully this whole movie. And we kind of see, he's a legacy kid. He's living up to expectations. Everyone's expecting all this stuff from him, but he's just Sully. He's not a Sullivan. He's Sully. He wants to be his own guy, do things his own way, but still, doesn't want to disappoint anyone. It's like all this stuff with John Goodman's vocal performance and the facial animation. I think is just really great in that it's all this stuff brewing under the surface, and it translates well to film. I think. That's my tangent. Sorry, we're like Sid Bartu's channel. We embrace the tangent. But on to
it's stuff we should talk about. Anyway, the deal to get in the Fear game, and they make a deal to get in the Fear games, and if they win, they get to get back into the Scare class. But if they fail, they got to leave the university.
Yes,
and
let's say their team.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mag. Keep going, Magpie. Forgive me.
Yeah, the team name is okay. It's so what? I forget what the exact name is. Uzma Kappa.
That gag is it's a simple gag, but it just entertains me to no end. It just they're okay, and it's like they're just okay. it's simple, and Mike's on the simple.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's still one member short, so that's how Sully gets in.
We count bodies, not heads.
Yeah. So anyway, they managed to get in, and that's how they get in. So Sully and Sullivan and Mike just they got to share a room together, and that leads to conflict as well. So they have trouble getting along. They're still having trouble getting along. They blame each other for getting thrown out of the class for the first time. But anyway, this leads to them entering the competition, and let's just talk about the competition first as a whole. I think
Well,
because
should we go over our team? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go over the team if you want to, because
briefly, I was just going to briefly go over the team just so we know who's like on the team. Well, basically,
who's on first?
Not that again. But in all seriousness, I mean, they're at Squishy's house. Squishy's mom. Squishy's voiced by Pete Sohn, who endlessly entertains me. He's the voice of he was the inspiration for Russell and Up. He is the voice of Emil in Ratatouille. He's Squishy, our main guy. He's really good at the basically he could be Batman in that he just appears from nowhere.
Yeah.
Which just great. He's good at the exits and the entrances, and that kind of plays to his strength later on. Then we have, who in the trailer I thought this was going to be Squishy's father, but it's his name's Don. He's actually the man who brought together the Uzma Kappa team, and he's a good character in himself. Don Carl.
Yeah.
This mustachioed tentacle monster who was in sales,
Yeah.
and he wants to be a scare. So he, like Mike, is going against expectation. He wants to be something else than what he is. Mm-hmm. And then we have our Terry and Terry, one voiced by Dave Foley, the other by
Sean Hayes from Will and Grace.
Yes, Dave Foley, who voiced Flick in A Bug's Life.
And Sean Hayes has done voice work before, but he's awesome. He's always awesome.
Yes, and Charlie Day, who does the voice of Art, who is this really Jim Henson-looking monster. He's just he's like this. I love his design. It's like this. His legs work like his arms. The hair animation's great on him. It's just this. It's a Muppet. Yeah. I can't describe. It's like a Muppet-looking creature with these little tiny arms. He's crazy as he's designed. But he's hilarious.
I think they're designed after something that appeared in one of the episodes of the Muppet Show. But this one's got arms. Those ones didn't have arms.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
Definitely. You've seen it too. I know. Yeah, we're talking about the same thing. I just can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are our main guys. You know, they're in like Squishy's mom's house, and Squishy's mom's a funny character on herself. But anyway, so you remember all the challenges, right?
Yeah, the first one is they got to sort of dodge these pink things that make them swell up, which is funny.
To simulate the touch of a child who is quote unquote toxic, with the Luxo ball on the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the work of the announcers. You got this goth-looking chick, and this guy, and like the very upbeat like bird-looking guy.
Yeah, it's just like amalgamation of bird, antelope, and it's really just mainly it's like bird and antelope monsterized, but it looks really cool. Yeah.
Kind of like vulture speak and everything. They do all the announcements to all the contests. The first one is they got to dodge these pink things, but they forget. They come like second in the race, but
because Mike and
fail
Sully won't work together. They're racing each other, and they think that the first guy who crosses and their whole team wins. But the whole team has to cross.
Yeah, but did you think that Raw were gonna end up that they had cheated all the way through?
Oh, did I think Raw?
Did you think they had cheated all the way through? Because that's what I was thinking. Because they always seem to come first, and I was like, there's something. I think there's going to turn out to be something fishy going on here.
You know something?
And I thought.
Sorry.
What?
That's a very good observation. I didn't make that observation. I guess I should have watched the Goofy movie 2 before I watched this movie because they had that plot line in it. It's like that's the only other college animated film I've seen. It's the very Goofy movie. The sequel is basically Goofy and Max go to college. But I'm getting off topic. We're back to the challenges.
Yeah, and that was the first one, and of course they failed. But
a team cheated.
A team cheated, that's why they keep going, and then they go to that part, then there's a second challenge where they have to not get caught by the librarian.
Yeah.
And they manage to succeed, but that gets everyone all behind them. But, of course, Raw wins that contest as well.
By the skin of their teeth, they win that challenge. They beat another team just by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
That I gotta say, that scene is so much fun, and I love one little bit of animation I just absolutely love is when Sully's just so frustrated he can't move faster. Like he's right behind Squishy, and
Yeah.
he just can't get behind him. He's just like so frustrated. Come on, let me move here. And he's seeing the other teams winning already.
Yeah, it's like, damn it.
But I like one last
Ooh.
bit of animation talk. I know I tend to do this, but it's real quick. This bit where like Sully turns into like a little kid for this one moment. It kind of emphasizes on the youth of these characters, in which he's caught by the librarian. He's kind of almost in a fetal position, more like a fear, like, oh my god, he's going to throw me out of here. She's going to throw me out of the library like the other guy.
Yeah.
It's a clever way they got out of that, though. You know, they're working as a team. They're starting to work as a team. They're like distracting, like not almost like sensory overload. Kind of going all over the place and distracting them, distracting her.
Yeah. Okay. So they go to the party and then they get doused in pretty colored paint and and get stuff thrown on them with like flowers and all that, and they sort of get made fun of. But so it's down to 3 teams, and but the humiliation is sort of like it's
the
you start to realize
pig blood.
Pig blood and like Carrie. It's kind of like a Carrie scene, but
we gotta mention
a Carrie scene. But yeah, and then of course that's when the real conflict starts between Sully and Mike. But yeah.
Well, I mean, we have to mention right after that's one of the most important scenes of the film. The motivation.
Yeah, sorry.
My bad.
Yeah, refresh my memory. Sorry.
Well, right after that, it's when they basically get on board as a team, because Mike has this brilliant idea. I love this idea of Mike's. And again, I mentioned the music of Monsters Incorporated. It's basically they all sneak on to Mike proposes the idea of a field trip.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So what they do is they sneak into Monsters Incorporated, which I love this scene so much. And what this sells it for me is the pure emotion of it. When they get there and they're observing the place, and it's basically that's what they needed. Seeing what their end goal is.
Yeah.
And then they kind of bond, because Mike and Sully from the outset the minute they get into the dorm room they're in, they're saying, "Are you kidding me? We can't work with these guys. We're the actual scary monsters, and this isn't even work. Like you're smarter the scary, I'm the actual scary. These guys, we can't whip these guys in the sheep. We're doomed." But then, they show them, they get them in the game. They show all of them want this. They want to work at Monsters Incorporated. They do. And then they bond over scare cards and the bonding of how much they love this job and all the scarers on the team. All the scarers on the scare floor. And they're bonding over that, and that just kind of sells it. They all have a common goal, and that they want this in the end. And they band together saying, I've been a real jerk. Me too. We got to work together to make this happen. Then they realize something familiar in each other, and they bond, they band together, and then we have a great training montage.
Yeah, another great montage.
Using their strengths, like Don learns how to appease the surfaces with his tentacles.
Yeah, and they mention misdirection. Before that's how they managed to get the
librarian.
The flag through the flag, last time. Yeah,
that's a great thing for a 2-headed monster, by the way. The misdirection, because you can only focus on one head at a time, and like one's with magic, one's with dancing, even though you really can't dance. Anyway, it's just it's a good idea for 2-headed monster, and then they have their little moment of realization that hey, look, more multi-headed monsters. Yeah, we're not out of the game, even though it looks like they're one of the few 2-headed monsters at that school.
Yeah, which is really weird. I figured there'd be more.
I guess it's a minority in the monster world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're training. Squishy's using his disappearing talent, which he did use for the librarian challenge too, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, we have. Is it teenagers then the house, or is it the house then? It's teenagers then the house. I'm sorry, I'm going through the next challenges, because the challenges are also working.
Oh, yeah. So, sorry, I forgot which one was next. But yeah,
I believe it's the teenagers.
No, that's the third one. I'm sure of it.
Well, yeah, we have 2 challenges under the belt already. So the third one's the maze with all the teenagers. Then it's the
No, that's
house.
the house. No, it's the house. Then the teenagers.
Okay, it's all right. It's been okay. So
Yeah, and they blast right through them two, and then you get the
oh,
final.
I got it now. It's in my head now. It's because because they're doing the hide and seek exercise. You know, Mike instantly points out where all of them are, and like Don's like stuck in the tree,
Yeah.
working on the adhesion. And there's this great bit later on where they're like I love this shot right here. It's like they're doing push-ups in the rain. And of course, then we get the call back to the first film for the other challenge, the whole scary feet. That's how they train for the teenager exercise. You're right. So the house is probably my favorite challenge.
Really?
Yeah, it's just great, just hiding around there. It's a clever exercise to train you as a monster. Yeah, you have to hide. We saw how well that one guy hid earlier on with Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
And they won that challenge.
Yeah, they won that challenge. And I like the teenage one because I think that's really funny because the girls just keep scaring the teenagers and that's why they fail.
You know what? One program teenager line that cracks me up is,
What?
"No, Daddy, I love him."
Oh, that.
That amuses me to no end.
Yeah.
You're such a loser. Then the pink team fire breathes him. Yeah. But the team that loses in the house, that team genuinely scares me. The goth team genuinely scares me. And the team Hiss.
Yeah.
That's just that huge hulking one with the tongue. It just scares me. But okay, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other challenges outside of the house and the maze.
No, because then they go to the final one, which is the
big football field event.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you think it was weird that they actually had gridiron in the Monster World?
They had gridiron? Well, they had football games, remember?
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was really weird that they had gridiron in the Monster World. I was like, really?
Well,
we can't get a rugby team in a Pixar movie.
Well, rugby, come on. They're not saying they don't have rugby. I'm just saying in college it's usually football.
Well, in Australia, usually it would be. Usually, I gather it would be a rugby team. Well, but I don't know if we have university because usually that. No, I don't think we have university competition in Australia, but I could be wrong.
Oh, one scene we should mention before we approach this. A very important scene. Again, with Sully here. After they win the... again, for some reason, I keep imagining it the other way. I keep thinking of the house being the second because they win after the cheerleading challenge, where they come in second. But not cheerleading, after the maze challenge, when they come in second. Either way, I thought it was like second, then they get in first place, so they're on a roll. Because then after that... Well, after whatever scene that was, they're being congratulated, saying, "Oh, who came up with those plans? Oh, that belongs to old Mikey here." And Mike came up with the plan. But here's the scene. Here's the important part. Dean Hardscrabble, she's observing the festivities. She's heading home. But then Sully, he's now the Sully we all know and love. After him being kind of the jock in the first act, he's now come around and he's. It's the everyman Sully, the one we love. Just the guy who's a nice guy. He's good friends with people. She's the everyman. And he's saying, being a nice guy, he's saying, Dean Hardscrabble, no hard feelings if we do get in, no hard feelings, right? She says, remember, if one person fails the next challenge, your team does not pass. And she looks at Mike. Yeah, so that's a great thing. And again, that animation on Sully's face just amazes me. Just like you can tell everything on his face, like, oh no. And then, of course, what Sully does here is just that scene between him and Mike training. He said, all the book stuff, that's great, and he's being nice about it. It's great stuff, but he throws it out the window. Not going to help you.
Yeah, and he tries to get him to scare really well, and yet it really got me up when he was like, "Look, you wait until the last thing. I thought it was like, oh, he wants them to build up a lead so that the other team can't reach it, and that's why he's going second. And like, it wouldn't matter how well Mike did.
Yeah, there's that.
But yeah, that.
And again, that scene right before, like after he high fives Mike, he says, "Oh, job well done." Then he, like that again. Last time I mentioned the facial animation is that look on his face when he's just like looking because he knows next morning he's not going to go that well with Mike. So we know what decision he makes later on, but that's the scene in which we see his face before he makes that decision, what he has to do in the final competition. It's a big decision. And Mike earlier on, he says, and again, we're spoiling it, so I might as well say it. Earlier on, Mike and they have a gag where they're like, well, Sully's still looking cool, leaning against a tree while he's training the other guys when they're still not getting along. He says, can we cheat? I'm just saying we get a new team, we make them look like the old team. He says, no, I checked. We can't do that, but still, it's cheating. We can't. Funny Billy Crystal line, but so basically we get the idea of cheating is kind of a thing they would have Sully considered, but Mike tells him no. So Sully's making the decision he's going to have to cheat for this final round.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm sorry I'm getting ahead of this, but let's get... right.
Yeah, they cheat, but you don't know that because Mike gets this record scare, and I was like, oh, cool, Mike obviously does become a scarer.
But let's, what about the Randall moment? We should mention Randall's comeuppance, or his, final moment before Ink.
Oh, where he gets, Hearts, really?
Yeah, that's just I love the build of that moment because they are kind of hinting at to the audience that this is the reason he doesn't like Sully. This is the reason he has that rivalry with Sully. It's just this great, Sully. He now knows what he has to do. He reads through the thing and he sees it's in his advantage. She's afraid of thunder and lions. Bingo. He goes in there. And again, we see how Mike's taught the team so well up until then, using their strengths against him, just a lot of jump scares, kind of appearing out of nowhere, and the kind of the two-headed. We get a bunch of really great scares trained by Mike. But then we get Sully, and he does this roar. It's so big, so awesome, that it's shaking the room next to him, where Randall's scaring it, and it's just it just shakes the room, and that's just the build of that. It's just so awesome to me. I was in the theater, I was giddy. I was like, oh my god, he's shaking the room. Then you see how he gets defeated in Monsters Inc. The hearts appear on his body. Doesn't scare the kid that much. And Mike breaks the record, as you said.
It's like,
our guys won. The film's over. But
then you get the reveal of the cheat, and I was like,
Yep. Did you see it coming?
No, I actually thought, okay, this is going to be the end of the movie, but something's going to happen. Something's going to happen, and he's going to realize, you know what, I'm better at just being an assistant or something, maybe. But but at the time I was like, that's why Mike's going to end up being a scarer for a while, and he's going to get in before Sully or something, and that's where he becomes his assistant or something. But but. Anyway, after that, Mike gets really frustrated and then goes off and tries to do an actual scare.
Really? Because he gets his poor heart broken after Sully says to him, he's not being mean, but he just doesn't think it through. He says, well, I didn't want the whole team to go down because you don't have it.
Yeah.
That was a heartbreaking scene for Mike. And then there's that great shot composition of just the trophy with Sully standing alone in the film. It's the trophy looks bigger, it's the size of Sully.
Yeah.
Just that's a great shot right there. It's kind of showing, you did it for this.
Yeah.
Great shot.
And of course after that, Sully confesses, but Mike's already gone into the little girl, what you think is a little girl's room, but it's a sleepaway camp.
Oh no!
And he's not scared, and you get all the little kids surrounding him, and you're like, oh god.
That moment, because again, there's that great build and kind of the homage to the going into Boo's room for the first one. Just that great shot, that great build, because we all know we love Mike at this point. And we're saying, oh no, Mike, don't do it. There's an actual kid in there. Of course, we know kids aren't toxic, but still, we have to wonder. well, if Mike's not scary, what's going to happen to him? And, he's going in there, and it's like there's that great red light reflecting on his face, and, like, everyone behind him is, like, banging on the door, Mike, get out of there right now! And basically he goes through the door. And then we're with him, and he's doing all the right stuff, and I like how he adopts the scare method of the first guy he ever saw, scratching the bedpost. From when he was a kid, he saw him do that. I like it. It's kind of mirrored in that. He was about to scare the kid. He gives it all he's got. Just, you're funny. That was a heartbreaking scene. Did you feel heartbroken for the guy?
Yeah, I was like, my heart sank at that point.
I was like, oh, no.
Honestly.
But then the reveal, the thing that made my jaw drop in the theater, I was like, oh, no. This is almost the Pixar matchstick moment. Almost. But still, it's kind of that moment where, like, oh, my God, what's going to happen next? It's like, oh, my God, this is bad. We can't scare one kid. He's in a room full of kids that are now have woken up. And he can't. Yeah. He's trapped. He's surrounded by kids who are presumably toxic at this point. And he can't find out they're toxic. I mean, you can't find out they're not toxic.
They're not. Yeah, so it's like that. But if you go,
it's like a zombie invasion.
Yeah, and then with the kids surrounding him, I'm like, oh, that's just that. All those little girls surrounding him, I'm like, oh man. And then of course we go back to Monsters University, and it's everyone's trying to figure out a way in, but we find out that the door's no longer working, and that's because...
Well, I'm sorry, I was just going to...
Oh, no, because that's when Sully comes charging in, but all the girls are out. You see the police are outside, or state troopers, or whatever.
Yeah, I love the... I'm sorry, I was just going to get to that, but... I want to mention...
You love the what?
I was going to mention, like, Sully's charging towards there, and he's gonna break through that. I love just how good friends Sully and Mike are at this point. Like, he's about to, like, he's just gonna burst through that crime scene tape, and he's gonna, like, charge right through that door. But of course, there's this little scene where the Uzma Kappa guys, they try to distract them, which really, I was just expecting Sully to burst, like, charge through the thing.
Yeah.
But either way, it's kind of a funny scene, I guess. But either way, he gets past there. He gets to the door, and Dean Hartcroft's like, "No, Sullivan, don't go through that door."
Yeah.
Not like he has anything to lose. I mean, he's already out of the university.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
yes. So they're in a situation. We're wondering what happened to Mike. He's gone. The window's open. Sully's confused for a bear.
Yeah. Yeah, and
by the way,
he tracked.
By
the way, what?
I was going to mention, I thought you were going to say they were by the lake next.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next.
Oh, go ahead.
They're by the lake, and they have a really heartfelt conversation, and it's really quite sweet where Sully reveals that he's always scared because he's scared of screwing up and letting everyone down.
Yeah.
Which kind of echoes what happens in the next one, kind of, because he's afraid of letting everyone down then as well.
Yeah. Also, my favorite shots in this scene.
Really?
Yeah, my favorite shot of the whole film. I don't know why. It's just I think it looks so good. It's just the scene where after Sully just like sits next to the rock next to Mike. Just the two of them looking out at the lake. The shading on that scene looks great. It's just the two of these two monsters in the human world just looking at the lake. Beautiful shot to me. I just mentioned that because my second favorite shot's coming up. But anyway, that's favorite shot. I love that.
Yeah.
Shot. And
I
can see the color palette being made for that shot in the Pixar studios. I can just see it being made because I love that shot so much. But back to the chase.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they have the heartfelt conversation, and then they're getting chased back to. They manage to make their way back to the cabin. There's a few good moments before that, little scary moments where Mike has to rescue Sully for a bit, but
the state troopers.
Yeah, but they manage to get back, and then they're trapped there. That's when they realize they're trapped there because
there's the matchstick moment.
Yeah,
the matchstick moment where you don't know what's going to happen next. They open the door. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Good.
Yeah, I'm going to plug that video of yours after we get that done doing this. Yeah. Sorry, lost track. Yeah, Helen Mirren's character has locked him out until the
CDA comes by.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I couldn't remember what they were called. CDA comes in.
She cuts the power to the door so nothing gets out from that side. However, of course, there is a risk. So she's aware of that risk, but she can't take it.
Yeah. And, of course, that's when Mike sort of comes up with the idea of charging up the door from the other side. And I was like, well, okay, that's an interesting idea.
Well, they did that in the first one.
Did they?
Yeah, remember it's when they need to, when they go through all the doors for the big third act chase with when they have Bowie, they're hiding from Randall. They charge from the other side. So I like how that came into play here.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry, it's been a while since I saw the first one. Anyway, so Mike sort of comes up with this really great scare to scare all,
and risky,
and of course risky because they're adults and they don't think they can do that. But
no adult's ever been scared in the Monster Inc. history.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're like, oh, okay, that's sort of like, well, that's good. That's really risky. But Mike and Sully do this really great scare. It's very, very classic monster movie type scare.
More horror movie than monster movie.
Well, yeah. It's like, it's very classic, is what I want to say. It's more very classic horror movie sort of scare, like little strange things all happening all around you until you get that one big scare.
Like a Twilight Zone sort of thing, like the doll saying "Mama, Mama," like this.
Yeah, all those little scary things, and then the adults get scared and they charge up the door, but the door they manage to get through, but there's a big explosion, all the stuff's going nuts.
That's my second favorite shot of the film. Just this shot is it's beautiful to me. It's the shot where all the screen canisters. It's this amazing moment. It's my favorite moment of the film.
Yeah,
it's just oh my god.
I thought it was a little over the top though that there was an explosion. I thought it was a little over the top.
Well, they have to make sure if they break through the door, they have to make sure the humans can't get through the door, so they have to.
Yeah, but I also love. I want to backtrack for a second. I love the moment where Mike realizes he's not going to be a great scarer, and my heart sank at that moment. I really did. To me, I was like, oh, this is not going to be the movie I expected. But but anyway, they do all that. There's that big explosion. But what do you know? They get kicked out of the university. We get a cameo from 0001
Roz.
Of the Roz. Yeah, that's really cool.
Always watching, Wazowski. Always watching.
Always watching. We're gonna keep a great eye on these monsters.
Oh, well, let me see.
And of course. Yeah, you go ahead.
Let me keep building, because again, I love this scene so much. It's just, they charge the door. Mike has set the scare perfectly. Again, we're seeing how masterful he is at crafting a scare. You know, what he does is really brilliant, is he has like the fishing net set out there, so he can basically, to build up Sully, when Sully jumps down there for the big thud, where he's about to like scream and roar, basically, so the adults, the grown men and women, so they fall down, so they're even smaller in scale, so Sully looks even more huge and more scary. The screams are so powerful that what happens on the other side is just my favorite shot of the film. The lights go out, they're flickering on and off, but when they're doing that, it's just darkness with hard scrabble in the middle with all the little red parts of the screen canisters on. It's just this like all these red lights in the darkness, and then it's just flickering on and off, and like the scale is building and building, and then the door explodes. They crash through like they crashed through the room in their dorm room, and then basically then here's the moment that sells it. We see Hardscrabble surprised and even, dare I say it, scared. She's like trembling behind the canisters. How did you? Don't ask me. It was him. Oh.
Yeah. I love that, and I love where she comes, where after they get kicked out, they're like, what are we going to do? And then Sully stops them. And then then she comes back and says, "Well, you did something that I wasn't expecting. You surprised. You did something no one's ever done. You surprised me." And that was really cool. And then they decide, oh, okay, we're going to we're going to start off in the mailroom, and then you get that montage of them slowly going further and further up. Like they go from the mailroom to being janitors, which, sorry, I think is a down step.
Well, they work their way up.
Yeah, so they work their way up, and then they get they get their first day, which is really cool. And it's sort of like, oh, okay, must be where we go from Monsters University into Monsters Inc. Unless, of course, they do another prequel, which bridges the gap even more.
They won't do another prequel for Monsters University. It's a perfect ending for Monsters University, I think. But
oh no, like on Monsters Inc.
I think I'll get to it in the final thoughts. But keep going.
Yeah, and that's where we end, isn't it? It's their first day, and it's good luck, Wazowski, and everything. It's really cool.
Did you stay till after the credits?
No, I didn't. Was there something else?
Well, it's just a little gag. It's in all the trailers of the little snail guy. The snail monster is like saying, "Oh, I can't be late for class on the first day."
That was in the movie.
Yeah, that's in the movie. It's in also all the trailers.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm saying, yeah, it's in there, but at the end, after the credits, it's basically he got to the classroom after the credits, and basically then the janitor's like working the thing, and he says, "You missed the semester, kid. You know, school's let out. The semester's over." He says, "Oh man." He's saying, "Oh well." He's going. So it's a fun gag, and also got to mention a few things here. Nice to out some touches before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this nice touch earlier on where Mike, since his childhood, he wouldn't enter. He was told not to cross the line for the scare floor, and he jumped over it. Because of this, he was boarding the Screamcasters thing, which would play an influential role in this film, apparently. It's kind of a nice visual thing, you know, the Screamcasters being so important the way they are, and basically, he jumps over the line, like when he reaches the university, he like steps over the little crevice that leads to the cobblestone of the university, and then when he approaches the scare floor, at the end, he steps over that line he wasn't supposed to earlier on, and
yeah,
it's a great touch, and also I want to just kind of say about the Uzma Kappa guys, I think their ending is really nice. However, how do you feel about the engagement gag?
Well, it's fine. They kind of teased it earlier, I think. It was alright. I didn't mind it.
I like Sully's reaction to it. Who's she?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know who that is.
What's her first? I don't remember. Who's Sherry? But like, I think that was more in there for the grown-ups that went along with the kids. To be honest, there was a funny, kind of edgy gag, but it's funny. But you know, the whole I'm just your Scott, I'm just your mother, I'm your brother, fraternity brother who's now married to your mom. Wait, no, that's not right. I mean, all that sort of stuff. But I like it. This is like an emotional goodbye there. I like that. Even though they're out there, they help these guys. And Mike's saying to them, you know, you're the scariest group of monsters ever. Don't let anyone tell you different. And I like how we see in Don Carl's character, the one who's been there the longest, the character who formed the fraternity. The guy who, like Mike, he wants to be something other than what he is, what he's been kind of classified as, like a salesman. And
everyone wants to be like Mike.
Ha ha ha. But do you mean genuine about that, or are you making a movie reference?
That's a very old gag.
Yeah, I know that.
Like everyone wants to be like Michael Jordan, but yeah, I was just making a joke.
Yeah, it's just really, I think it was a nice touch, and then they crossed out salesman. It's just that, again, I keep going on the visual representations of this film. It's like crossing out, just the sheer crossing out of that term salesman, writing down scare student, is that, yeah, this is who I am, this is who I want to be. Deep down, I know I'm this. Forget what you see on the outside. I'm this. I'm a scare student. I'm a scare. I'm a monster. Don't judge me for how I look. I can scare the pants off. With that sort of mentality about it. Then Mike saying, scares the monsters. And Sully, and that goodbye between the two, because now they bond as friends. Like, they don't know what's going to happen next. And neither do we, the audience. Like, we don't know how they're going to get back together. We didn't see this coming. We thought, okay, Monsters University. It's an internship. We'll get into the school. They'll get into the office. Who knows? But now, well, they're saying goodbye now. Well, what next? Then he just jumps on the bus. It's like, Mike, I don't know anything. Well, technically, I stole the pig. See, I didn't do anything. Then the Hardscrabble basically hands them it was originally a joke by the Roar students. The whole work.
Yeah.
And
working.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that it was a joke from the students working through the mailroom.
It ties together really nicely, but let me mention the cameos before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Again, we mentioned Roz. It was a great cameo. I think the face mask was a little much, but you know who it is. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could they have just? Oh wait, you can't see. Oh yeah, forget I said. I think I remember this in the theater. I just forgot it now. It was. Yeah, you can't know who Roz is because the big reveal in Monsters, Inc. that she's number one of the CBA. So that's the reason why. But but also, I was expecting, because going into this film, I heard the casting and stuff. At one point, I heard Jennifer Tilly was in the film. I guess some of them could have been rumors, but then I heard Kelsey Grammer would be filling in for James Coburn, who passed away shortly after Monsters, Inc. came out, who played Water Noose. I love that character. He was really scary at the end of Monsters, Inc., but a great grandfather-like character who you did love. Then he scared you at the end. Anyway, so Water Noose, we got a great, hilarious cameo. It kind of made him a little less scary. He was just like with the afro and the mustache.
Yeah.
But then we had, I love Celia's little cameo. Like now in the present day, it's just like a little picture with a kiss thing, like XX Mike sort of thing. It was really, really funny and sweet. And then he exchanged. Oh wait, last visual cue, the hat got destroyed in the explosion. So basically, at that moment where he gets out of the giant door-shattering scare, the hat he's brought with him. He kind of, when he enters the door, he takes the hat off. One, to be scary for the girls, but two, it's kind of like, I'm going to prove my merit as a scare. If I don't scare, I'm not wearing this hat ever again. Basically, he comes out of there, he doesn't wear the hat ever again. He gets incinerated, so it's kind of, we don't know what's going to happen next. His aspirations are gone now. Like, we don't know where he's going to end up, and it's kind of his dreams have been shattered at this point because he's been expelled after that. And I got to say, I was expecting Hardscrabble to like put in word form, because how can you not teach these scarers who basically scared adults? They filled all those screen canisters. How can you not teach them? But
because they destroyed the door.
But still, if they're that talented, again, it's like when Mike said earlier on in the film, he said, well, then you would have kicked out the best scare students ever, which she does technically do. Not by her. She tried to get them back in, but she couldn't help.
Yeah.
So
no, she didn't have the stroke.
Good on her. She's a multi-layered character, so good on her. She's not completely black and white. But, I'm trailing off here. Then he replaces the hat with the helmet he so craved. As an assistant, he wears the Monsters, Inc. helmet.
Yeah.
It's not what he expected with the hat, but it's something even better he got, that he's more suited towards the helmet. If that makes any visual sense.
Yeah.
So that was really connection. Cool. I think that's all I got to say on the film until final thoughts. So go ahead with your final thoughts, sir. Unless you have anything.
Well, now that I've actually had a chance to digest it, I was expecting to give this movie a pretty low rating. But talking it over with you has sort of made me appreciate it even more. So I did love it when I saw it, and I did like to when I left. But when I left the cinema, I felt really down. But now that I've had a chance to talk it over with you and everything, I really do see it as as a very quite a good movie, and I'll give my rating after you do your final thoughts. But I did love it, and I love the journey that we went on with Mike. I'm glad that they kind of flipped the roles this time. Billy Crystal got much more to do, and John Goodman is always good, and the cast really did come alive in this, and I really did go on an emotional journey, which is always a good thing. That's it.
Oh yeah, the last cameo, the Abominable Snowman.
Oh yeah,
that was funny, but I gotta wonder. When he said punishable by banishment, I feel that one was just thrown in there, but they had to have John Ratzenberg in there. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
it's a funny gag, but it feels forced. And when they say in the first movie that he was banished, I guess like Mike and Sully, he was put to the scare floor, and then he just got to the scare floor, and then he got banished from there, and that's how they know him. But then again, it'd be kind of silly if he was banished because he misdelivered mail.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm kind of hoping for the other alternative. But getting to my final thoughts. Again, anything else to add, final thoughts-wise? Or
No. I didn't have much to say after all, but yeah.
Well, yes, this film, like Dean Hardscrabble, it surprised me. It was so good. It was much better than I anticipated. I anticipated it to be good. This is really great. I would rank this over Brave. So basically, it's either over Ratatouille or under Ratatouille, but still, it's so great. It's hard. It's impossible. It's almost impossible to rank the Pixar films for me, mind you. I can just put some at the bottom, but I know what my top 5 are instantly. But the point is, this film is really good, a lot better than I expected. I gotta say, it really hits home with me, because basically I'm kind of in the position of Mike this entire film. I guess that's why it really resonates with me. Because I kind of have the same aspirations as Mike, only instead of Monsters, Inc., it's Pixar. And kind of my plan at the moment is kind of Mike's plan where he is at the end of the film, kind of working his way up the ladder to get where he wants to be.
Yeah.
And, it's just kind of, I guess that's really another reason I really like the film, but I genuinely do believe this is a good film, and I would say if people were to give, some people have given this like a 70% rating, I would give this, personally I'd give this a 90% rating, but I guess 80% rating would be in comparison, But overall, I really like this film, I do, I think it has a lot to offer. I'm not saying that it eclipses the first one, I'm not saying that, but I am saying I think it's a good film on its own merit. And it's, again, really great. And the thing I was mentioning earlier at the beginning about how someone on That Guy with the Glasses, they weren't crazy about this film. I can't agree with them on, obviously I can't agree with them on that, but I mean, they didn't have a valid argument, I would say. No offense to That Guy with the Glasses team, but I disagree with them in that they only have one complaint for this film. Their complaint was that, like I said earlier, Mike's set up to fail. He is. And they viewed that as a bad thing, though. They viewed that as a major downer for the film. I guess I see the point, but I don't think that's enough to kind of rule it as a bad film at all. I think it's a very interesting place to go with the film. That's what I think.
Yeah, not enough filmmakers take risks these days.
Yes.
And
overall, this film was a huge risk. If this thing flopped, it might have cemented the kind of Pixar, they're kind of cushioning back to just doing prequels and sequels for the heck of it, which they weren't, and they haven't. I'm saying this could have maybe built that down the road, that they would have kept doing it, because Nemo 2 is, Finding Dory will be coming out, and we'll see that, but I'm confident with this that film will be great, because we see what caliber of storytelling they still have. To this day, the same caliber of storytelling they have with Toy Story 2, but only now they've improved, if not challenged, the story structure with doing a prequel. My mind's been open with this film, in that I would say, in addition to an incredible sequel, I think after an incredible sequel, if we did get it, I would say, let's go for an Incredibles prequel. See the area we have to grow with that. It's a world we haven't really explored that much, and we could explore it in the past before the kids came along, kind of seeing the golden year is not aware of the storm that's coming with the whole lawsuits and litigation of being a superhero that happens and the reason they retire.
Mm.
That's spitballing an idea right there, prequel-wise, you know? But
Yeah.
I should mention, I'm going to mention one last tidbit of information before I guess I officially give like ratings and stuff along with you.
Mm.
It's there was a line. There is technically there's a contradiction to this entire film that kind of says it didn't happen. In the original Monsters Inc., they a plot hole then, but not really. In the original Monsters Inc., Mike has a line. Mike says, you know, you've been actually I think I have the line right. I'm going to pull the line up right in front of me if I can. Oh yeah, here it is. The line. Huh. Oh yeah, you've been jealous of my. Mike says to Sully, he's been jealous of my look since the 4th grade. That's the line in Monsters Inc. And that kind of says since the 4th grade, so they've known each other since the 4th grade. And I want everyone to know, if anyone's that diehard fan, because I know I am. So I'm talking to you, Aaron Dicer.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. The thing is, they did consider it. Dan Scanlon went into the film. He knew about that line. He tried working around it at first. He said, you know, they had versions of the story with a kid Sully, and just maybe Mike didn't notice him at first. I don't know this for certain. I just know they tried working him in the story. You just had him like a kid Sully, so the two have known each other since the 4th grade to make that line official. But then, talking to the Brain Trust, Pete Docter, John Lasseter, all the original guys working on it, Dan Scanlon, they said to Dan Scanlon, we appreciate that you're honoring the material, but, you know, for the story you want to tell, it's a good story. Focus on that story. That's where your main story is. It's connecting to this might, like, cheapen it, or not cheapen it, but hassle it. And basically, Dan Scanlon, also in the back of his mind, and I agree with him on this, it is kind of a joke line, so you could just play it off as a joke, or like a monster saying, you've been looking off my good looks since the 4th grade, that sort of stuff, you know? It's like it could be a joke line. I buy that, and that's fine. Because I'd hate just to disregard this whole film because of that plot hole. It's not even a plot hole. It's just a joke. They wrote it as a joke, and they didn't expect to make a prequel. So, take that for what you will, folks. Either way, this film, I think, is fantastic. Well done. I feel for the characters. Mike's journey. Mike was a great protagonist for this film. Sully did not fall behind, even though he's not in the limelight. The animation, that global illumination technology, just looking at the trailers for the first time, what blew me away were the sets and how great the sets look. Then the story mixed with that, the animation on the monsters, blew me away. My expectations skyrocketed now. I can't wait to see what Pixar does next to The Good Dinosaur, which I am disappointed we didn't get a trailer for that. So that's the first time that's happened to my recollection. We haven't gotten a trailer for the next Pixar.
Is it DreamWorks then that's bringing out
Turbo?
Turbo.
Yeah,
Turbo.
DreamWorks is doing Turbo, and Disney's doing Frozen.
Oh, okay.
See, I was expecting they did Frozen instead of the Good Dinosaur trailer, because Pixar usually would put their next film, which is the Good Dinosaur, as like a teaser trailer for what's to come next year. Yeah, next year. Anyway, so I really like this film. Blew my expectations away. Great film. Can hold up on its own. I love it. I'm gonna keep going unless you stop me, Magpie.
Okay, I'll stop you. Okay. Ratings. I think I'll go first, seeing as it's your month here on my channel.
Well, do it out of screen canisters.
Okay, out of a possible 5 spring canisters, we're gonna fill up at least 3, and yeah, I think now I can give it a solid 4 out of a possible 3.
Good man.
And that's pretty much probably the same rating as the first one, I should say.
Well, again, I just have nothing but positive things to say. This thing, I think, more I watch it, the more I like it, more I'm finding new things, and that's kind of the mark of it. Randy Newman's score was great. Everything in this film I love, but it captured. I felt that enthusiasm I felt with the first one and just the earlier Pixar films. And I think, optimistically, I'm saying that Pixar is going back into their kind of, not a renaissance, but maybe like a golden age of Pixar. Like kind of bringing back that old feel when they first came out with the films. Bringing that to the forefront, kind of going full circle in a way. Hopefully a circle that never closes, or it's an infinite circle. I don't know how that works, but anyway. I would give this, out of 5 screencasters, I would give it, and you can probably predict this, 5 out of 5 screencasters. I mean, come on. You know that's going to happen with most of my Pixar films. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to rank them. Yeah, I can't make any promises. Some of them might be 4.5s. I can't tell you. But anyway, this one's a 5 out of 5. I gotta say.
Okay. Well, we're done. We're done here with Monsters Inc. But we shall be back with some. Oh yeah. Well, okay, we're done here with Monsters University. Sorry, but we'll be back with some commentaries, I guess, which you can expect Iron Giant, and I'm pretty sure before the month's out, I'm going to have a special surprise for Blue Dragon 5.
For me?
So, yeah, but I'm going to keep that a secret from him for a little while longer because I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to do it this month, but hopefully we will.
Oh.
Anyway, we'll be back. Stay tuned for more Q&As because they're going to be coming up daily, so check them out.
Remember, we scare because we care.
Yes, we do.
See ya.